Latest statistics from the World Bank says over 3 billion people live on less than $2.50 per day. While the new poverty line is placed at $1.25, the typical poverty level in developing countries, especially in Africa, is put at $2.50. In Africa, poverty is one reason for the growth in urban slums, as 3 out of every 4 people live on less than $1 per day in rural areas. Experts say with the persistent financial crisis in Europe and other parts of the world, poverty in Africa is a growing concern.
Whereas an African, I don't think you can have one single definition or one single cause of poverty on the continent. There are many causes, and it depends on how you look at it. I think one has to be clear that to improve on the situation, yes, there's poverty, but we need to see exactly in what are the priority areas that we need to improve on to enhance people living above the poverty line. It's a long-term situation. But let's start by trying to improve on local production, improving on feeder roads, because sometimes we see that in villages we have farmers who produce a lot of crops and other consumables, and they get rotten there because there are no roads to take them out to sell and get income to feed their families.
Behind closed doors like this one, leaders often meet here to deliberate on developing the African continent. Now, at the African Trade Forum here in Addis Ababa, some of the main points for discussion is the rate of poverty and development in Africa.
We can actually trade Africa out of poverty if we are resolved to do so. If we are resolved to create the synergy that is needed to build the capacity of our population.
We can do a lot of things on the continent, but that will also need us to see how we can improve on the road infrastructure on the continent. I'll give you one simple example. We have a huge waterfall or dam in the DRC. If we have power generated from that dam, we can feed all of Africa and we export it. So why don't we invest heavily on such things? That will provide electricity to a major part of Africa and help sustain the industrial sector.
Some of the recommendations on Africa to trade itself out of poverty include intra-African trade, good governance, and creating an adequate environment for small business enterprise to thrive.